Welcome to Watch With Us. Your host, ladies and gentlemen, Us Weekly's Emily Longeretta.
I feel like you guys strategically dominated this season. That's hands down. I think anyone would say that. Obviously, it didn't end up in your favor at the end. Let's go back to going into the final. You guys were pretty a stacked team. U.S. was dominating through the whole season. So going into the final, were you guys thinking, we got this?
Yeah, I mean, all of us were looking around at each other being like, all right, anybody that lacks at one thing, somebody else makes up for it. And we were looking like a very solid team. I mean, in my mind, I was sitting there being like, all right, I got all the bases covered. Running, puzzles, math, even the people who are terrible at swimming, the good swimmers can stay with them and kind of coach them along.
Right.
I mean, we were outside. We had Leroy and Cam and Ninja in the pool every day swimming.
Yeah.
So we were feeling really, really good going into the final. And, why wouldn't we feel good? I mean, we were, no matter what was going on, we were winning every single daily.
Mm-hmm.
Come hell nor high water.
Right.
I just assumed going into a final with more people would be a benefit. I thought, there's more mouths to eat. There's more brains to figure out a puzzle. There's more hands to carry.
Right.
Obviously, that didn't help us at all, actually. It worked against us to have a larger number.
Yeah, it was interesting because I played out the same strategy in my head, just being like, all right, who's good at eating and all that stuff. And
right.
It was a shock. I think if you looked at all of our faces, when they first said what was going to go down in the final and what having more players meant, we just kind of already sat there and were like, what was the point of playing
right.
a really good political game all season long? I mean, past seasons, people are praised for their political game and their strategy and being able to work the numbers in their favor. For some reason this season, it's like we even were made to feel guilty all season long of throwing our teammates in
right.
and everything, only to at the end, it's like, man, thank God we did.
Yeah.
Because if we had 10 of our players or 12 of our players, 4 people would have been carrying 500 pounds.
Right.
And it's like, whoa.
That said, you were aligned with people on UK team as well, and you guys were kind of doing, do justice to both sides throughout. Do you have regrets of that now?
In hindsight, look, I get a bad rap of people calling me a liar and not being loyal and all that stuff. When realistically, it's I feel like you have to have loyalty up until a certain point of the game, which is either right before a final or once you make it to a final. There was no reason to really doubt any decisions because, like I said, we kept winning. In hindsight, I could have looked at where we were at in the game and, for instance, that final elimination where Josh went against Jordan, could have pulled the trigger on Rogan or somebody on the UK team then because it wouldn't have came to bite me in the butt.
No, it would have, because we would have had to carry even more weight is the problem. Right? If we ended up with more people in the final.
Well, but we didn't know. We're talking hindsight.
Right.
So we're talking, we didn't know the rules of the final of having to carry more weight from more people. Looking at it that way,
right.
Putting Rogan against Jordan weakens that team. And then even if, it wouldn't have affected me. Basically, I was trying to take care of every single person. So I wasn't just thinking about myself because, yeah, making that decision wouldn't have affected me because the next elimination was a girls' elimination.
Mm-hmm.
But it could have affected one of our girls going in when maybe they didn't have to. But once again, hindsight's 2020. If we would have known that CT was going to do what he did,
right,
we pulled that one trigger. Then it really doesn't matter if they vote somebody in. The girls already had their cushion. We would have voted Nani in regardless, and then it would have been Nani going against somebody else. Or who knows if the rules of that last challenge would have stayed the same. Would 2 girls have had to swim against Jordan, or would I have been allowed to swim against Jordan? And would we have won that one too?
Right.
So there's so many things that could have went on where, I don't know, as a competitor, I just kind of look at it and look at the cards that we were dealt and just kind of be like, you win some,
what can you do? Yeah.
To us, it was, I just remember Jordan and Theo were going off hard when Jordan was on our team saying that they were going to throw it. So it was as soon as Tori was on the other team, Jordan was just nonstop about we're going to throw it every girls' day, we're going to throw it every guys' day, because he wanted Tori to get her win.
Of course.
And I'm like, you're going to throw it so that your girlfriend can get a win? Like, why don't you just let her win because she's good?
Right.
Or just go to her team.
Yeah.
So that's when we were just like, that's when we pulled the trigger on Jordan too. Because, I mean, if you have somebody on your team threatening to throw it and lose every time, why have that person on your team? The point is to win, right?
And something that was very evident at the beginning of this season, and I think now in the past couple seasons, a lot of strong players have gone out early. You guys have really, especially since you've joined, I would say, but I would think it's a trend that started a couple seasons ago, going after big targets early. Knowing that you want to make your team the strongest, would that have been different if you could redo it? That getting rid of, I mean, you got rid of so many great people, and while you stayed loyal to Ninja and the people on your team, I mean, a lot of the stronger women went home early too.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, it's tough to say because I kind of got tired of like the way seasons were ran, where it was almost ran like a mafia, where it's like the OGs, they just kind of banded together and then they pitted the new people against each other, and then maybe one new person makes it through, right, and then they start picking each other off, and then they run a final against each other. So I came in and I shook that up, kind of being like, well, like, I mean, it's natural to look at it and be like, hey, some of these people are definitely close to retirement age.
Yeah.
And it's time for like new people to come in and start to make a name and start to make a stamp for themselves. We had no intentions of doing that from the get-go. I was trying to get Wes and Bananas to be on good terms so that we could be a unified team.
Mm-hmm.
Was trying to get Cara and Laurel to be on good terms so that we could be a unified team.
He got me and Ashley to be on good terms.
Yeah, I got Cara and Ashley to be on good terms. I mean, they saw the bigger picture of everything, of like team. And then like when the trigger got pulled on Wes, that left a sour taste in my mouth. But it wasn't even that move that made me kind of question where the direction of this game was going. It was that next challenge, it being thrown specifically to give the numbers to one side. So you throw a challenge in order to vote Ninja in, and then you were trying to, bully the other side to vote Cara in against Ninja, which essentially is what we then ended up doing the whole rest of the season, because I was like, all right, well, if that's the move that's being made, then I can almost guarantee that I'm going in next on Guys Day, right, regardless win or lose, or they can just throw it, and I could go in. And that's just what opened my eyes to everything, where I sat there and I said to Cara, I'm like, look, just be prepared to go into elimination. Like, if we go in, we're just going to have to win and then either switch sides or just keep winning our way to a final. But I said, it's all going to be based off of this elimination. Right. I'm going to talk to Idris. I'm going to flip the numbers to get Laurel thrown in. And if Ninja wins, then I've got 2 or 3 more shots that can be taken that will ultimately put the entire game in my control. Right.